Can you imagine a team that seems to be drifting? Well, that's exactly what the Bears are facing right now. After a brutal collapse in their last game, help might be on the horizon. A strategic move with an offensive lineman could turn the tide and give our young quarterback the protection he desperately needs. Are they gearing up for a trade that could solidify the line and breathe new life into the offense? Now, let's dive into the troubling revelation from one of our own players. Following one of the most shocking losses of the season, you can feel the tension in the air, and a prominent player has admitted that there was a lack of focus both on and off the field. The words from this tight end have raised more than just eyebrows. They highlight deeper issues that could jeopardize the season. Could this be the turning point that shakes the team back to reality? Finally, we have the controversy surrounding a cornerback who's put the spotlight on himself in the least desirable way. An unfortunate misstep at a critical moment led to a gut-wrenching loss, and his apologies are echoing in the locker room. Can a lack of concentration at a pivotal moment really cost the team? This player feels it deeply, but the question is, will it be enough to keep the team's morale intact? Stick with me until the end to get all the details on this critical situation, and don't forget to subscribe because we bring you all the action that true Bears fans need. Let's go, Bears! Let's cut to the chase, folks. The latest buzz flying around is a potential trade between the Chicago Bears and the Tennessee Titans that could give our beloved franchise some much-needed help on the offensive line. Now I ask you, who doesn't want to see Caleb Williams protected the way he deserves? First, let's talk about the current situation. The Bears have done a great job surrounding their rookie quarterback with offensive weapons, but clearly there's still a lot of work to be done. So far, after 7 games, Chicago is tied for 5th place in the most sacks allowed in the NFL. That's unacceptable. And to make matters worse, the rushing offense is struggling to average a modest 4.1 yards per carry. It's clear, if we want our franchise to shine, we need to invest in protecting that offensive line. Enter Titans guard Daniel Brunskill. Have you heard of him? This guy has been a solid backup in Tennessee, but let me tell you, his track record speaks for itself. Last season, as a starter in 14 games, he allowed just 2 sacks and 26 pressures in pass protection. That's some solid performance. Plus, he had a blocking grade of 62.3 in run blocking. Who wouldn't want a player like that on their team? Brunskill can not only play guard, but can also step in as a center. That versatility is exactly what Chicago's offensive line needs, which has been struggling in 2 problematic areas. Now I'll say this, if the Titans are willing to let him go, why not seize this opportunity? They have a record of 1-6, meaning they're not exactly on top of their game, and it would be wise for them to unload a player who will likely walk in free agency in 2025. Best of all, reports suggest we could snag Brunskill for a pretty reasonable price, maybe a 3rd-round pick or a trade involving picks from that round. And here's the million-dollar question. Shouldn't we act fast before another team swoops in and takes this chance? So Bears fans, now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Brunskill is the guy who can make a difference on our offensive line? Or should the Bears keep looking for more options? Let me know in the comments. Let's get straight to the point, Chicago Bears fans. Today, we have news that not only raises concerns, but also reveals some unsettling truths about the team. Tight end Cole Kmet has made a confession that makes us wonder, what's really going on in the Bears locker room? After the gut-wrenching loss to the Washington Commanders, where they had the game under control with a score of 15-12, everything fell apart with a 48-yard Hail Mary that cost them the victory. Now, I ask you, how can a team that was on track for a good season allow a moment of disconnection to cost them a game of this magnitude? It's unacceptable. Kmet spoke about how a lack of focus was an issue not just during the game but also in practice. And here's where we need to dig deeper. What does that mean for the team's leadership? One player, Tyreek Stevenson, was seen taunting opposing fans while the game was still in play. I'll tell you this. If a player is more focused on provocation than on game strategy, there's a serious problem. Stevenson's attitude, even after apologizing, shows a lack of respect not only for the game but for his own teammates. What Kmet mentioned isn't just an isolated mistake, it reflects a pattern that could be destructive. Some guys might relax here and there, he said. And I wonder, is this the kind of mentality we want in a team that aspires to go far? If this doesn't change quickly, the pressure will mount. Not just from the media, but from the very fans who demand top-tier performance. Now, shifting gears, let's reflect on the role of the coaches here. Are they really getting the right message across to their players? With a record of 4-2, the Bears seem to be on their way to a good year. But this kind of behavior is what you'd expect from a team in crisis, not one that started the season strong. This situation has to serve as a wake-up call, not just for Stevenson, but for everyone. The Bears are about to face the Arizona Cardinals in a pivotal game. The question is, will they be able to overcome this disappointment and get back on track? Now I ask you, Bears fans, what do you think about the lack of focus the team has shown? How do you think it will affect their performance in the coming weeks? Let me know in the comments. Bears Nation, today we're diving into something that's rocked our defense. What exactly just happened with Tariq Stevenson? He's the young cornerback who had the critical job of covering Noah Brown on that fateful Hail Mary that handed the Commanders the win. I'm telling you, there's nothing more heartbreaking than losing like that. 18-15, clock at 0. Who could believe it? Now, in a statement that made me stop and think, Stevenson apologized to the team. He said, "I let the moment get too big, and that's something that should never happen, and it won't happen again." And I have to ask, why do we let these moments overwhelm us? We're talking about a second-round pick here, a guy who's shown promise, but made a costly mistake at the worst moment of the game. That's what stings. Matt Eberflus, our coach, talked about accountability. He mentioned that Stevenson took responsibility and that these types of mistakes are lessons we need to learn. But how often are we seeing these mistakes repeat on our defense? It brings up a critical question. Are we ready to handle the pressure? Or are we just here to relive these painful moments? Looking at the game tape, it's clear that on that last play, Stevenson didn't just miss his coverage. Before quarterback Jaden Daniels even got the ball, Stevenson was more than 40 yards from the line of scrimmage, distracted and hyping up some fans instead of being ready to do his job. Isn't that a lack of focus? I believe it's a harsh reminder that in the NFL, there's no room for distractions. Eberflus mentioned, we practice Hail Mary defense a couple of times a week, so why didn't they execute what they practiced? This is a play you should know how to handle. The fact that the team wasn't prepared for this type of critical moment is unacceptable. This moment should leave a lasting impact on Stevenson. And as he said, leaving my teammates in a situation we know how to handle is my biggest regret. Now I'm asking you, how many more lessons are we going to need before this team starts playing at the level we all expect? How much longer do we have to wait to see a shift in this mentality? And before we wrap up, I want to put something powerful out there for all the Bears fans. Do you believe Stevenson can redeem himself and learn from this experience for the next game? I sure hope so. But what I hope for even more is that our defense comes together, strengthens up, and makes sure mistakes like this don't happen again. So, Bears Nation, what do you think of Tariq Stevenson's performance? Is it time to give him another shot, or do we need to see a shift in our defense? Let me know in the comments. Alright, Bears fans, time to make your voices heard. Do you think Brunskill is the guy who can bring that much-needed boost to our offensive line? Or should the Bears keep scouting for other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your take is key to our team. Now, I'd love to hear your perspective. Bears fans, what's your take on the team's recent lack of focus? How do you think that's going to impact their game in the coming weeks? Your insights could be the key to predicting what's ahead. Share your thoughts below. And Bears Nation, we've got to talk about Tariq Stevenson's performance. Is it time to give him another shot? Or do we need to switch things up on defense? This is a crucial debate for our future. Let me know in the comments. We want you to be part of this community that's like family. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Every new subscriber adds another voice to our conversation. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Hail to the Bears!